Man, I got a million other things to do, but I just had to make this video real quick. Um, Something that is super important that I struggled to learn when doing sales was to, and it sounds cliche, and that's why I feel like people struggle with it, um, is to sell on value, to sell the benefit and not sell the price. And that sounds so like, you've heard it 1,000 times. So you have to understand it with some different words. It's like, what are you trying to convince them of? Are you trying to convince them that the initial pest control service that you're selling is worth $350? And when they say, no, it's not, I don't want to buy it, are you redoubling down on that, on the value? Yes, it is worth $350 because of this. Yeah, I don't want to buy that. You should buy it because of this. I don't want to do it right now. Okay, that's fine. You don't want to do it right now. The situation is this, and so this is what everyone else is doing, and that's why you should do it now. I don't want to do it. Okay, well, it is worth $350. This other service is worth $200. If you want to go ahead and get it done, I can include that $200 service bundled with this one for the same price. Don't drop your price. Just continue to convince them of the value of it, and maybe include a couple extra services in there. But you want to just expound on the benefits, like, oh, no, can I get a business card? And I'll think about it. Yeah, I don't do the whole business card. It's only because I'm here filming these next couple spots. I'll get them filled up in the next hour or so, and I'll be out of here. So no pressure. One thing that we have been getting a lot of is in the garage. We've been getting a lot of spiders. If you want, I can go ahead and put a couple spider traps out there along the corners and do a special solution to make sure that those little wolf spiders aren't crawling in at night when you open the door and stuff, getting into the house. What's a good email to send this to? So doubling down on the service. They're like, can I think about it? Like, can I, give you a call? And you're like, I mean, you can call me whenever you want. I'm your friend. Feel free to call me whenever you want. But I do only just need to fill those spots. Those ones are the ones that get that pricing and everything. And no pressure. I mean, you don't have to go with me, but definitely do call somebody, because it is more effective when we all treat together rather than playing ping pong with the bugs, if that makes sense. One thing I didn't mention that we will be doing, the inside is where we get the little spiders in the corners. And then we've just been getting some of the little silverfish as well up in the attic. It's just, I didn't want to bore with all the details of the service, but that is something we'll also be doing tomorrow. Is we specialize in new build areas, new build homes. And what we specialize in doing is putting the product in the places where the bugs are most likely to hide, and putting that product there before they have a chance to get there. So when they do, they're not infesting and laying eggs or anything like that and causing any problems. So opposed to just being like, yeah, so, it's $350 and then it's, $119 every couple months. And then being like, I just need your first and last name to get going. And they're like, no, let me, can I get a business card? Can I think about it? And you're like, yeah, you can, I don't really do the whole business card thing. It's only because I'm here setting things up. But tell you what, if you want to get it done, I'll go ahead and do it for $250 instead of $350. And they're like, no, let me think about it. I'll get back to you. Like, yeah, no worries. You can get back to me if you want, but I'm just going to fill these up and probably call somebody, because it is a good time to get it done so we don't ping pong the bugs around. But tell you what, if you want to do it, I'll go ahead and do a manager's discount, drop it down to $149. They're like, no, I'll pass. I'm good right now. And you're like, okay. Well, dude, I kind of got to get going. So if you can just help me flip one of these spots real quick, I'll do some family and friend pricing. I'll get that initial down to just $99. And so do you see, like, you're selling on the price, that their price is cheap. You're trying to get them to buy it because it's cheap, not because there's value there. You're not increasing the value anymore. You're not pushing that it's worth $350. You're not trying to convince them of the value of the service. You're just dropping the price of it and trying to get them to make a buying decision because, $99, why not? Rather than like $350. $350 is kind of like $99 for a homeowner. I mean, if they don't have pest control and they need it, it's like, oh, that's a really good price actually. Okay, let's go ahead and do it. But you're gonna get more people to buy out of the desire for something than out of that it's cheap. And there's so many things that come into play once you start dropping the price. You lose their trust because they're like, why did you sell it to me for $3.50 and now suddenly it's $99? I don't trust you anymore. Even if you give excuses and reasons why you're able to drop it, still they're like, oh, you're haggling me. They don't like you. They're like, oh, you're a salesperson. Keep the price there. Continue to increase the value of it by explaining more about that. And then people also, they don't want to buy it anymore because you're actually doing the opposite of making them think that it's a quality service. Now they're like, well, even less. I don't want to spend $100 on something that's not worth it. Most people would rather spend the money to get an amazing thing and be sold on getting like, you know, like, I don't, whatever it is, like, you know, you go in for a Corolla and you get sold on a Lexus, and that's exciting, and you buy the Lexus because you want it, and you make, because the value of it, because of whatever, the leather seats and the heated seats or whatever, I don't care. But you go in, I mean, let's say you go in, you're trying to buy a Corolla, and they're like, oh, but you could, you know, Camry, whatever. Like, oh, you know, yeah, you get a Camry, but you could get a Corolla, and it's even cheaper. You're like, I don't know. Like, let me think about it. Let me shop around. And they're like, well, you could buy a Corolla. It's a lot cheaper. And they're like, oh, well, the Corolla's this price, and the Corolla's this price. And like, if they get it cheap enough, you might do it because you're like, oh, it's just so cheap, you know, that it fits into my budget well. But you're not buying it because you want to. You're just buying it because it's cheap. And you're like, but you don't want something cheap. People would rather buy something of value than something cheap. But it does take, you know, skill and confidence to do that. So just a little 2 cents on quality over cheap price selling.